Hey everyone! In this video, we're going to be talking about how to solve a systems of equation using substitution. We talked about what systems of equations were and how to solve them graphically in my previous video, which you can click the link to in the top right. So let's get straight into it. Say you have a system of equation pair that looks something like this. Y is equal to 2x plus 5, and the second equation as 3x plus y is equal to 10. How would we go about solving this using substitution? The first thing we would want to do is solve for one variable in one of the equations. So like solve where one equation is x equals or where one equation is y equals. So for this one, you can already see that we already have a y equals equation. What we do from here is we look at our second equation. Our second one says 3x plus y is equal to 10. What you're going to do is substitute the expression that y is equal to into the other equation and solve for the variable. So what I mean by this is for the second equation, we have 3x plus and then plus y. Y is the same thing as 2x plus 5 from the first equation. So instead of saying y, we're going to say plus 2x plus 5. And that should be equal to 10. Now we can combine like terms and solve for x. Doing this, we'll get 5x plus 5 is equal to 10. So 5x is equal to 5, and if you divide both sides by 5, you're going to get x is equal to 1. Now that you have one of the coordinates, what you're going to do is plug in this x is equal to 1 into the first equation. So our first equation was, again, y is equal to 2 times x. X is equal to 1, so we're going to sub in the 1 right here and continue with the rest of the equation and add 5. Now solving for this, we have y is equal to 2 times 1, which is 2, plus 5. And so y is going to be equal to 2 plus 5, which is 7. So our y value is going to be equal to 7. Now that we have both the x and the y coordinates, we're going to write it in as a coordinate pair, and we're going to have the x value as 1, like we solved for, and the y value as 7, as we solved for. And this is our final answer. So let's try solving another one. This time, let's say we have x is equal to 17 minus 4y, and y is equal to x minus 2. So for these ones, if you notice, both of our equations have been solved for a variable. The first one solved for x, and the second one solved for y. In a situation like this, we can choose which one we want to plug the other equation into. So I can either plug in x minus 2 in for the y in the first equation, or I can plug in 17 minus 4y for the x in the second equation. What I think I'm going to do is plug in 17 minus 4y into the x of the second equation. So we're going to have y is equal to x, which is equal to 17 minus 4y minus 2. Now solving for this is going to give us y is equal to minus 4y plus 15, and if you add 4y to the other side, you're going to get 5y is equal to 15, and then divide both sides by 5, and you'll get y is equal to 3. And so that's going to be our y value in the coordinate point. Now we plug in the y into our first equation. And our first equation was x is equal to 17 minus 4 times y. And we said that y is equal to 3. So now we're going to go ahead and solve for this, and we're going to get x is equal to 17 minus 4 times 3, which is 12. And so x is equal to 17 minus 12, which is equal to 5. And so that's going to be our x-coordinate. Now putting it all together, we're going to get our coordinate point, which is going to have the x value first, 5, comma the y value, which was 3. And so 5, comma 3 is our final answer. Let's solve one more. Say we have an equation that says 3x plus y is equal to negative 7. And a second equation that says minus 2x plus 4y is equal to 0. Now remember, our very first step is to make sure that at least one of the equations is solved for a single variable. Now if you look over here, neither of these equations have been solved for either x or y, so we're going to have to solve one. So I'm going to solve the first one for y. So we start off with 3x plus y is equal to negative 7. And all we have to do for this one is subtract 3x from both sides. And we're going to get y is equal to minus 3x minus 7. So this one is solved for y, and so I'm actually going to replace our newly written equation with our first equation, just to make it a little bit easier. And so we have y is equal to negative 3x minus 7. And so those two are our equations. Now what we're going to do is what we've been doing, and we're going to plug in negative 3x minus 7 for the y in the second equation. So we're starting off with minus 2x plus 4 times y, which we said we're going to sub in negative 3x minus 7, and that's going to be equal to 0. And so now that we have this equation, we're going to go ahead and solve for x. So we have negative 2x plus 4 times negative 3x, which is negative 12x. Remember, we're distributing the 4 to both. So for the first one, we're going to get negative 12x. And then 4 times negative 7, which is going to subtract 28. So that's going to be equal to 0. So we're going to have minus 2x minus 12x minus 28 is equal to 0. And so combining like terms, we're going to get minus 14x minus 28 is equal to 0. Add 28 to both sides, we get 14x is equal to 28. And divide both sides by negative 14. This is going to leave us with x is equal to negative 2. And that's going to be our x-coordinate for this. Now all we have to do is plug in the x into our first equation. So our first equation was y is equal to negative 3x minus 7. And we plug in negative 2 for x, so we're going to have y is equal to negative 3 times negative 2 minus 7. Now we just have to solve for this, and so we're going to have y is equal to negative 3 times negative 2, which is 6, minus 7. And so y is equal to 6 minus 7, which is going to leave us with negative 1. And so this is going to be our y-coordinate. Now we just have to put this together and write our answer in the form of those coordinate points. And so we're going to have our x value, which is negative 2, comma our y value, which is negative 1. And so negative 2, negative 1 is our solution for this systems of equations. So that's it for today, guys. If you want more videos like this, please like and subscribe. Also, be sure to post any questions you have in the comments section below and to follow me on Facebook and on Instagram from the description. Thank you so much for watching. See you next time. Bye!